Hello and welcome to the show. I'm Hazel de Kloe, the Wealth Whisperer, and I'd like to talk to you today about how to become financially free. Now, I have developed a 12-step process to help you understand exactly what it takes to become financially free, also known as financially independent. But first of all, let's define what I mean by the term financially free, because I know different people have different ideas on things, but I think there's a general rule of thumb and a take on it, which basically means that you have enough savings, income, and investments to enable you to live how you choose to live without relying on a traditional or typical 9 to 5 job role. It's about basically having control over your finances, your life, and the choices that you make. And that, I have to say, is incredibly empowering. So, without further ado, let's dive into the 12 steps of how to become financially independent. Okay, step number one, really, really important to have a clear goal in mind. One of my mentors over the years used to say to me on a regular basis, resistance is created through a lack of clarity. I'm going to say that again. Resistance is created through a lack of clarity. And at the time, that really hit me between the eyeballs because, in terms of what I was doing at the time and the business I was building and what have you, this was like, yeah, this is obvious. But how often do we get really clear about what it is that we're doing and what it means to us? So it's time to get clear. If you want to become financially free, you need to work out a plan. You need to have in mind what you need, how much you need to cover your current bases. All right. You can have your big hairy goal in mind about how much money you'd like coming in. That's fine. However, I would start with covering your current bases first in terms of what's going out. So you need to figure out what your expenses are and have a plan of how you're going to cover those bases to start with. When you've done that, you also need to think about what, have the clarity around what your life is going to look like at that point. Where are you going to be living? How much time are you going to be spending working? Are you going to still be working? Who are you going to be spending time with and what activities are you going to be doing? That's really, really important. And then you can start to chunk it down and chunk it back from the covering your bases and the big hairy goal, right, to okay, what do I need to therefore implement in the meantime? And that's a whole other conversation to be had, but that is the first place to start, to become clear on what it is that you can see for yourself when you are financially free. Okay, so step number 2 is starting to manage your finances. And I've already just touched on this. This is about knowing what is coming in and, perhaps more importantly, what is going out. Yeah, your monthly expenses. Because when you've determined how much is going out, you can then know and understand what it is you're working towards. All right. I've done a whole other episode on money management, and you can grab my financial spreadsheet to help you figure out all these aspects and what's coming in, what's going out, how much you've got left over, etc., because this will make it an awful lot easier for you to go to get the clarity and to see, right, this is what I need to start doing. All right, so that's step number 2, start to manage your finances. Step number 3 is learn to manage your debt well. Now, this is a really interesting one. The first point I would make about this is to know and understand what your credit score is. It's been quite amazing over the years when I've worked with people on, in terms of buying properties, building a property business, and then learning how to become financially independent through other means. It's really interesting that a lot of people don't know what their credit score is. And I can tell you this, that it's very, very likely at some point along the line, sooner or later, that you are going to need to play the game and take out credit to help you along the way. It can certainly grow and, exponentially help you in terms of affording things along the way, as long as you know how to manage it. That's a whole other topic of conversation, right? But if you can start to know and understand what your credit score is, whether you need to work on it to improve it, or if you already have a good credit score, then you know what you're going to be able to do with it. But that is going to be super, super important. So credit score, super important. And then know and understand what your debts are. And if you've done your financial spreadsheet that I've just mentioned, then having a list of what your debts actually are and knowing what the most expensive ones are. If you have a store card or a credit card that's on a really high interest rate, then, perhaps pay those expensive debts down first to bring down your expenses, your outgoings on that basis as quickly as you possibly can. At least negotiate the rate if you can. Certainly on a credit card, you might be able to do this. Then, you can start to manage your debt. So that is a really crucial piece of the puzzle, is to learn how to manage your debt really well. Right, step number 4 is learning how to budget. So I, again, stress the importance of this. Having, set yourself a budget for your household expenses and your clothes allowance and your going out allowance and all this type of thing can really help you to live within your means currently and live as frugally as you can afford to. I don't want you to compromise your standard of living. It's not that necessarily, but it's about being sensible. And if you really are serious about becoming financially free, or perhaps you're in the process of it and you're finding it a bit of a struggle, then learning how to cut back and live frugally whilst you're building your financial freedom, your path to financial freedom, can really, really help. So I would definitely invest in the time to learn how to budget and how to do that properly and to live within your means, so that you have extra left over at the end of each month that you can put to good use, right? Okay, step number 5 is to save as much as you possibly can, right? I've just spoken about managing your money properly, having an amount left over at the end of each month. And I've, done a whole other episode on saving money, right? And how to save money. That is absolutely a crucial step in your plan. And then you've got to learn how to manage those savings properly. So go listen to that episode, right? It's super important. Step number 6 is to learn how to negotiate. Negotiation can be one of the most powerful tools in your box, your financial freedom box. And if you can go to like a market or somewhere, or a bric-a-brac shop, something like that, and you can learn how to negotiate and haggle on the little things, then you can save yourself a few pence or a few quid, right, to start with, or a few dollars or a few whatever it is, whatever euros, whatever your currency is. Then you can start to learn how to save the big bucks. And if you can learn how to save money on big purchases, then that can go massively towards your budget to build your financial freedom. So learning to negotiate, the art of negotiation, it's a crucial skill, because you can save yourself a literal fortune over the course of time. So that's step number 6. Step number 7, which is a biggie. Okay, this is pretty much, I'd say, one of the biggest aspects, is of course to start to learn about investing and actually generating passive income. And categorically, I can say without fail, whether you're on a a 4 or 5 figure salary, or a 6 or 7, well, maybe not 7 figure salary, because you probably wouldn't be listening, but maybe you are. Certainly 6 figure salaries. You will never earn as much as you can from your job. You can never earn as much as you can make by investing well. I don't care whether you have a 5 figure salary or a 6 figure salary plus, you just can't ever reach the same level of income creation, wealth creation, than you can by investing well. I mean, we would not be in the position we are in today without having learnt this skill. We started with practically nothing, just a few £100s in the bank when my husband and I first started um, our journey, if you like. And it was only because we started learning how to play the game, right? Learning how to put our money into places that we knew or had a very good idea were going to grow. And we found it fun and fascinating and interesting to see our savings pot grow, and buying a property with none of our own money. And, like, we could never have afforded to do that if I had just stuck at my job, which was professional musician and music teacher. That was my career previously. If if I think back now about what my earnings were back in the day, it's like, how have we done? I mean, we've had to pinch ourselves along the way as to how we've done it, but we've done it with very little money coming in the early days. And so it's all about learning how to invest well and generate passive income. Okay. So that's super, super important. Step number 8, take full responsibility for your finances. What I mean by that is that no one else is ever going to have your best interests at heart more than you. Don't entrust it to anybody else without you knowing exactly what's going on. Keep your finger on the pulse. Keep ahead of what's going on in the world and in the news in relation to your path, your journey, how you've chosen to generate wealth for yourself and passive income for yourself. It's super important. And if you need to, then make adjustments along the way. You might need to to shift and move track in your strategy and make adjustments accordingly. So make sure that you do that, because by taking responsibility, then you are basically empowering yourself. You're keeping your power to yourself and not giving it over to somebody else who may or may not make it work for you. Okay, so that's a very important point. Step number 9 is to get a mentor. You can, by all means, try and go for this journey by yourself. And there's plenty of free information out there and plenty of people who talk on the subject. However, having someone to hold your hand, to be with, to guide you, to direct you in the way that's best for you, can be one of the most incredible things. Essentially, what it helps to do is to springboard your journey further, exponentially more than you would be doing so if you were to do it by yourself. Let's face it, none of us have time to waste. So why would you try and struggle and, make this journey even more challenging, let's say, by doing it all by yourself, than people, treading in the path of people who have gone before you, who know the pitfalls, who know the mistakes, who know the avenues to take and can help and guide you along the way. There are plenty of people out there who can help you to go into a specific arena that's going to help you to get there. It's very important to choose the right person, of course. And it's one of the reasons that I set up in business all those years ago as a property mentor and now as a financial educator and coach, was because to actually see the difference that it can make in someone's life to have the right guidance, wisdom, expertise, knowledge, can just literally shortcut them on their route. And so that is one of the biggest things that can help you along your way. We did do quite a lot of it ourselves to start with, but it was when we had a mentor that things really started to take off. So I would definitely urge you to consider getting a mentor for your particular journey. Number 10, step number 10 is to take good care of yourself. And I mean taking good care of both your physical state, your mental state, and your emotional state. If you keep all these fit and healthy, then this will help you if anything comes your way, it'll help you ride out any waves which come your way, any curveballs that are sent your way. If you are in a good state yourself, then that is absolutely phenomenal. It's without a shadow of a doubt, I would say the next step is part of step number 10, but it kind of drills it down even more. And step number 11 is to develop your mindset. So to develop a really strong mental strength. This, without a shadow of a doubt, is one of the most important factors to your success, to actually being able to achieve your dream of becoming financially independent. And this is what we concentrate on within the Freedom Club. And that's why we've developed a safe space for people to come together to support each other, to develop their own minds, and to kind of just, be there for each other, to learn from each other and to support each other along the way. Because without a strong mindset and a strong development of your mindset along the way, you will find that this journey is more about personal development than it is anything else. Believe you me, I have been there, bought the t-shirt, worn it until it's threadbare on this aspect. And so I cannot stress enough the importance of developing your mindset and using that power of your mind to help you along the way. But you have to put different stuff in if you want a different result out in your actual reality, right? So developing your mindset is crucial. And step number 12, the final step, is really, it's just super, super fun, is to celebrate your wins along the way. You're going to be dedicating yourself to this task. So don't just let a win pass you by. Celebrate the little stuff as well as the big achievement at the end of it, because not only will it give you the impetus to keep going through the tougher times, it'll also kind of give you your own personal pat on the back for things that you've actually achieved along the way. It doesn't have to be anything big. It could be buying a nice bottle of wine on your way back from, achieving one particular element of this journey. It could be going out for a nice meal with your family. Whatever it is for you, it's to celebrate your journey. And most of all, to enjoy your journey, because there is no reason why you would be going on this journey if you weren't going to be enjoying it along the way. Okay, so yeah, that is super, super, super important as well. Essentially, it takes courage, it takes commitment, it takes dedication and discipline in order to become financially free. So I really hope that these 12 steps have given you an insight into the most important aspects. It certainly doesn't happen overnight, that's for sure. But the journey of 1,000 steps starts with the first step. And if you've decided that this path is for you, then make that first step. It's amazing when you put into practice 1 to 3 small things every single day towards your goals, how much you watch your life make that shift, make that kind of, movement towards where you want to be going to. And sometimes you might think it's going super slowly, and sometimes all of a sudden it'll move really fast. But it's through those small actions every single day and enjoying those actions every single day that are going to be, the difference between you remaining in the situation you're in now and having the choice and the freedom that you're looking for. If you decided that you would like help along the way and you like the idea of the 12 steps that I've mentioned, then of course feel free to reach out to see how we might be able to help you. Got the link below, click on the link below and get in touch so that we can have a conversation about it, because basically that's what we're here for. That's what I'm here for, and the team behind me are here for, is to help you to actually reach this goal of financial independence. It's what we do day in, day out, and we love it. So hope you've enjoyed the show. Hope you enjoyed the steps. Make that first step, and I'll see you on the next episode. Bye for now.